Hi everybody, this is Jackie with Rigr Crafts, and today I'm going to do a demonstration of drawing this Viking knit that I made. It started out as 100 feet of 26 gauge sterling silver wire, and I've knitted it into Viking knit, and we're going to do a demo of how I draw it through the draw plate. But first we're going to talk a little bit about the history with Viking knit. It was most common in the late 9th to the early 10th centuries, so the Viking Age, which is why we call it Viking knit. If you want to look it up and find out more about the history, you'll need to look up Trichinopoly chain, which is the archaeological term for it. There's a lot of good resources online, but you have to dig to find them. And they would have used it for all sorts of jewelry, as well as trim on garments and around like drinking vessels and things like that, as well as for hack silver. I have a couple of different size dowels. These would have been traditionally made on a wooden dowel, but for me it's easier with a plastic dowel. If you can see, these have ridges, so they help me make sure I keep my stitches straight. It's really just a matter of preference. This is my smaller dowel that I've already started doing some bronze on. I'll set that aside and get it out of the way here. And then I have the larger dowel here that I did my sterling silver on. And to make things like the bracelet that I have here that I made homemade end caps on. And for those I use my small mandrels. But we're not going to need those because for this silver, I'm actually using silver filigreed end caps. So I have to draw my wire down to the exact size to fit in those end caps. So I'm going to set those aside since I don't need them. And we're going to get started. Now, I just need to take it off of my dowel. That's the first step. And then I'm going to have to cut it off of the little flower part here at the top. Very easily, just go around the top here. And I'm going to cut all of my little loops. And my flower just comes right off, as well as all of the little pieces. And I will set them aside on the corner here. And I'm going to need to take my pliers and the end that I just snipped. I'm just going to tuck that in there so it's not going to be poking out at people. And the same way with this one. I'm going to cut that there, add that to my pile, and fold my end in. So just out of curiosity here, a lot of people ask how much wire it takes to make a necklace or to make a bracelet. Normally it's 15 to 20 feet in a bracelet and about 25 to 30 feet depending on the size of the necklace, usually a little bit more. And this, we're starting out with about 31 inches or so of the knitted wire. This started out as 100 feet of wire. A little bit less because there was some trimmed off when I had to splice in some more pieces. But about 100 feet of wire, and I now have about 31 inches. So I'm going to take this copper because it's cheaper, and this is just going to be waste. And I'm going to cut a few pieces to string through the end. I'm going to need 3 pieces of that. There we go. And I can set that aside. Alright, so if you can see the end here, there's little loops. And they're the same loops that run all the way down the ribbing of the knit. I'm going to take my pieces of copper that I just cut and run them directly across in those loops. And then just twist it together. And all this is giving me something secure and even across those loops because I'm going to twist them all together after they're through the loops to pull on when I pull it through the draw plate, which will allow me to get an even draw on this knit. And that's how I get it down to the size of the knit that was on the bracelet or the necklace that I'm wearing here. Since this is a smaller gauge wire, I'm not going to need to anneal it, which is heating the wire to make it workable again. Because it's such a small gauge that even though silver work hardens, I shouldn't need to anneal it because it'll stay flexible. But when I work in, say, 24 gauge, generally I have to anneal that because it gets hard. Alright. So, again, that doesn't have to be pretty. I just put all of those together there and twisted them around themselves. And now I have a draw plate. So when it comes off of the large dowel, it comes off up here at 5/8 of an inch. I'm going to draw this down. I believe what I need something slightly smaller than my end cap here. So it's probably going to be 7/32 or 3/16 that I'm going down to. So I'm going to draw it down to 7/32 and we'll see if it fits in the wire or in the end cap there. So I'm going to start here, go all the way through, go to the next hole, and all the way through. Now on this one I'm going to stop halfway through so you can see the difference in the size of that wire. On this side, this is the raw side that hasn't been drawn through the draw plate, and this is the side that has been drawn through the draw plate. And as it goes through, it comes out smoother and tighter. So I'm just going to keep drawing that through. Go to the next one. And again, you can get a visual on the size difference there. And because this is such a thin wire, it's still staying flexible. Alright. Now we're down to the 7/32 hole, which is the one I said might be the right size. So now that I've drawn it all the way through, I'm going to take my end cap here, and that's just about the same size as that end cap. I want it to be just a little bit smaller so it fits easily in the end cap. So I'm going to draw it one more time to 3/16 of an inch. Perfect. That's what I wanted. So, I started out with 100 feet of wire, knitted it, and we had 31 inches before I started pulling it through the draw plate. Let's see what we got. Oh, I'll get my assistant to help. Keep going. Keep going. And I now have about 62 inches, so we doubled the size of the wire. But for being 100 feet, we left with about 6 feet now. So that's how much wire actually goes into making one of these. So now that I've done with that, I can proceed to measure out. I know I have 61 inches now. I can measure out, say I want two 16-inch sections to make necklaces with, take what's left after I've got the waste off of that, and I can figure out how many bracelets or earrings or other necklaces I want to get off of that. So I will do that, and I will be sure to post pictures of the finished product. I have a couple of pendants upstairs that are eagerly awaiting necklaces, and I will get those online as I get them finished. If you guys have any questions or want to know more, or just want to let me know that you enjoyed these videos and you want me to start making more, please let me know in the comments. Thank you.